Bobby Hanley, thank you very much for the follow. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another wild round of West Coast Wednesday. Everybody, the drivers are just getting towards their qualifying session. Thank you very much for being here. Rally Dutchy, thank you very much for the follow from the person earlier. Right now in the championship, we've got Ricardo Rivera leading Phil Cryothios, leading Darren Wicks, Anthony Kelly from FNM, who's in fourth. Then we've got Alex Freeman, Neil Kerbel, Joshua Worley, a.k.a. Squirrely Worley, Professor Carnotus, Eric Gagosian, and Jace Wright in the top 10 for this West Coast Wednesday championship so far. Ricardo Rivera is kind of running away with it right now, and unless someone can upset his times, I think he might seal and deal this championship with only a couple of rounds remaining. And despite his no start. What's up, Jaeger Caro? Thank you very much for the burbs. Despite his no start, no finish for round 6, a DNS, he is still leading by at least 45 points right now in the championship. 43 points. My math is a little bit off. But he's leading by quite some margin, and we'll need Cryothios to win a couple in a row for him to have any points challenge coming at him. Let's take a look at the calendar and see what the drivers have in store for them for the remaining couple rounds, and let's see what the rest of the Tracklicious team is up to all week long. Thank you very much for the hydrate. I'll have to bust out Mike's gigantic water bottle to keep up with the hydrates, but we'll make sure we do that. For the GT4 rookies on Mondays, this week we're going to be going to Zandvoort on October 21st. Don't forget to watch the Amadeo Castorino track guide with me, Saagar Bakshi. And we'll be doing a 20-minute race for the rookies. And then following that, right afterwards, at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to have a 45-minute sprint race at Zandvoort for the GT4 Open. Mandatory pit stop will be required for those drivers, fixed refueling time, optional tires for them to select through. The Bathurst Challenge was awfully hectic and very surprisingly exciting. So make sure you go watch that VOD back if you're so inclined. Squatchmonger wants to go somewhere else. Where else do you want to go other than right here with us? The iRacing Championship has unfortunately concluded. More to come in the new year, hopefully, and more to be announced in the next upcoming weeks for the iRacing series. West Coast Wednesdays, though, we're here at Paul Ricard, a track that obviously Squirrely Whirly doesn't really love. But next week we're going to be at Zandvoort to round it out. And then our GT3 championship on Sundays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to finish up the week going to the Nordschleife. And then we're going to finish up the championship at the Hungaroring. Special events coming up. Don't forget about our spooky Suzuki race on October 30th, a 45-minute sprint race at Suzuka with a livery contest. Let's go ahead and take a look at that really quickly. The Trackalicious Spooky Suzuki Race and Livery Contest coming at you fast and fierce. It's going to be this October 30th. Don't forget to sign up. You don't necessarily need a team, but you will need a spooky livery to sign up with. What's up, Alejandro Pulgarin? What's going on? Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for joining us here on the YouTube side. We've got some spooky liveries. We got some funny liveries. We got everything in between as well. Just show up and race your heart out here at the Suzuka circuit. We have the Sun Sprint at Zandvoort on November 3rd. That's going to be a 45-minute sprint race with hot settings at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Flooded Silverstone on November 6th for two 20-minute races. And of course, by the name, you could tell it's going to be flooded. That's going to be at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on November 6th. Let's not forget to thank our Patreon subscribers. Thank you very much to all the V12 Exotic, and thank you very much for all the V8 Muscle Car Inline 4 donors as well. If you need help with your livery, don't forget to reach out to Neil Kerbel in the Discord. He is more than happy to work with people on getting their liveries up to par. Without any further delay, the qualifying session is actually almost concluded, so let's get right over that and see what the drivers are all up to. Right now, Ricardo Rivera is leading by a hefty margin by just 0.7 of a second. And he's leading over his championship contender, Phil Kraothios, and then K. Moss lagging in third with a 154.4. Darren Wicks is in fourth, Anthony Kelly is in fifth, Curtis Rustin's going to be in sixth, Alex Freeman is in seventh, Patrick DeVoe is in eighth, Kyle Hirsch, the Hirschmonger, in ninth, Neil Kerbel's in 10th, Joshua Worley, Squirrely Whirly, as so aptly named, is in 11th, Kuzya Terakov is in 12th, Philip Suazo is in 13th, Professor Canos in 14th, Eric the Boss Kakassian is in 15th, Devin Anthony, Spady Budd, Buggy Watt, Jake Wells. Not setting a time yet, not a valid time at least. He's going to have to avoid doing that in the race to keep himself from doing a excursion through the pit lane. Two 20-minute races here for for Paul Ricard here tonight. I hope you put a good show on at Zandvoort. I hope so too, Alejandro. You put on a good show for us last week at the Bathurst circuit, or earlier this week, I should say. I would be excited to see what you could do at Zandvoort to shake up the championship. Jaeger Caro is still in the pit lane right now, starting from the pit lane, it looks like, but we're looking on board with Alex Freeman. But let's switch it over to Darren Wicks. Ricardo Rivera out there to improve his lap time by nil, it looks like. Gets to the line, 57.0 that last lap around, but Darren Wicks is out here to improve, and he's going to come down the back straight, the Maestro straight. Jaeger Caro just chilling. Good job. That's cool being there. Darren Wicks out to improve by half a second. Wow. This could put him on the front row of the grid potentially, or the second row of the grid, I should say. He's doing a good job navigating the infield section. Has a bit of a wiggle there at turn 11 at Corbet de Garblon. And he's at the Virage de la Tour now. And he's at the Virage de Pont. And he gets to the line, and he's going to be able to improve. He's losing a little bit of time through the final corner. Will it be enough to get him up into fourth place past Jake Wells? I don't think so. A 154.655. He needs a 10th in his pocket to be able to do anything better, but he was not able to produce that. Jake Wells now sits in fourth place with a 154.5. Qualifying session is over now, and we've got a couple of drivers still out there trying to do their darndest, and that's going to be one, Alex Freeman, trying to drive his heart out. And he gets to the line with a 155.030. That will be his personal best, last lap being his best, and that'll nestle him into 6th place overall. Everybody else hanging out in the pits except for Jake Wells and Kraothios. Kraothios not out there to improve right now. He's a 10th down on his previous lap. A 155.330. And we'll have to look at Kraothios to see how he manages to get to the line as he comes through the final corner. Virage du Pont. And he gets to the line. Can he improve anything? No. That's going to be it. What's up, Dev664? Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much to hang out. We're going to go back over to the studio for just a moment while we get things ready to go for our Sexy Sax Livery Shakedown. Where is it? Of course, I can never find it when I need it. Light to the World Racing cheering on Kyle Hirsch. Have a great race, everybody, says Big Pots for Pots TV. I think we're ready to go back over to the live scene. Black screen of anticipation. And we've got 2 minutes left on the clock. It's time for Sexy Sax time. Oh, now we've got Sexy Sax time. Phil Cryothios in P2, Ricardo Rivera in P1. Where's the saxophone? Where's the saxophone? In third place, we've got K. Moss. There we go. Fifth place, Jake Wells is in fourth place. Darren Wicks is in fifth place. Alex Freeman's going to be holding down sixth place for us. Seventh place is going to be for Anthony Kelly in the FNM car. The number 7 in seventh place. The number 8 is going to be in the number 868 is going to be in eighth place. That's Curtis Rustin for the Dree Motorsports. Patrick DeBow, a Rockefeller Racing car in the number 87 is in ninth place. Kyle Hirsch is in 10th place, the number 21, doing 21 things at once. Neil Kerbel, the Voltec 395, is going to be in 11th place overall. Joshua Worley, Squirrely Whirly, the Pirate car himself, is going to be in 47th place in the in 12th place. Kuzi Terekov, 621 NCR car, is going to be in 13th. Philip Suazo, Rematch Racing, the 213, is in 14th place overall. Professor Chronotis is going to be in 15th place for Holistic Racing, number 42. Eric Akasi in the number 5 is going to be in 16th position. Devin Anthony in the 664 for the Rockefeller Racing second car is going to be in 17th place overall. Spady Bud, the Mad Fox Sim Racing car, is going to be in 18th place, the 221. The 410 of Boogie Watt is going to be in 19th place. And Jaeger Caro in the 920 is going to be in 20th position. Let's pump up the volume. Preemptive energy for Caro and Spady Bud. Yaman. Let's go. We've got two 20-minute races here at the Paul Ricard circuit and a very, very short formation lap. Ricardo Rivera is already snapping himself off for a quick and early lead. Let's go to a helicam and see the grid formed up. See K. Moss there sitting in third place. Right next to him is Jake Wells. Green, green, green. Away we go. And like we see, it's going to be 3 wide in the background right now. Who's there and leading in the back? That must be, I think that's the 18th place car, and that might be Spady Bud. But it looks all neat and tidy right now. Let's look a little further back for this 3 wide action. The FNM car bumping and banging there. That was going to be Cryothios, Ricardo Rivera touching Kyle Hirsch and Curtis Rustin, it looks like. And there goes a, whoa, Chronotis on the inside line touching the Voltec 395. And that's not too dandy candy. And it's going to be double up trouble coming into turn 4, it looks like. Into turn 6 now, Virage de la Sante Buene. And here we come down the Maestral corner. Oh, trying to rejoin the circuit. That's Curtis Rustin in the number 868, trying to regain track position. The Voltec 395 has actually somehow managed to gain it back some positions, and that's Neil Kerbel. And that Mustang's really stretching its legs right now. Lurking for this 3 wide scenario. He's going to go to the optimum line. It looks like Curtis Rustin backs out of that one very quickly. No, that's not Curtis Rustin. That's Neil Kerbel. And Kuziterakov is the one that backed out of it. And it looks like Suazo is the one that went forward. Let's take a look back at autopilot here. Here's Suazo leading the charge right now. Suazo leads Curtis Rustin, Dubois, and Alex Freeman going side by side. Some action here at turn 10 and Corbin de Garblanc. And it looks like the 87 of Patrick Dubois nestled himself into the top 10 after a little bit of touching there. Adam Strange just finished season 1 of Only Murders in a Building. Solid 9.5 out of 10. Not enough building. Too many murders. Understood. Looks like Cryothios is chasing down Jake Wells. Full onboard lap of Joshua Worley right now from Neil Kerbel. What are you doing? How are you driving and doing this at the same time? Here we go, Joshua Worley getting a little squirrely right now, and that's going to be Philip Suazo getting by him. Maybe not at turn 3 on the inside line. Is he leaving enough room there on the inside for Philip Suazo? Yes, inside line turns into inside line again here. Suazo backs out of it. Now he's stuck between himself and Neil Kerbel. Curtis Rustin falling back. And it looks like Joshua Worley's powering forward right now. Cal Catran was a famous Force-sensitive human male rebel. Where are we? Who's Kyle? Kyle Hirsch. Gotcha. I'm on board with Worley. Stop typing, Neil. Oh, here we go. Up the inside line. That's going to be Curtis Rustin chasing down Joshua Worley side by side, getting to Corbin de Signes. And it looks like Joshua Worley is able to beat out Curtis Rustin there for just a moment. And he's able to just narrowly hold on. Does a great job of doing so. Holding on to the inside line, being very defensive. Chronotis is dangerous. Beware. I see that now. He's on quite a bit of a rampage. Let's check out Joshua Worley's lap. He's about to come to an end of it right now. We'll have to check out what's going on right in front. This is actually a great view of the battle that's going on. Oops, thank you very much for letting me know. It's adding to the ambiance, Alejandro Polgarin. But thank you very much for letting me know. I like to leave Sexy Sax on for no apparent reason sometimes. Yellow flags being thrown out. A little bit of corner cutting there from some of the drivers. Let's let autopilot take us away and show us some good action right now. Here's Cryothios getting chased down by K. Moss in the yellow Aston Martin Vantage. .5 minutes remaining, or just shy of. Coming down the Maestro Straight right now are the leaders of this pack. And it's awfully tight here at the front. 1.2 seconds back, 1.1 seconds between Jake Wells and Ricardo Rivera. Cryothios and K. Moss are just separated by 0.3 of a second. Darren Wicks and Kyle Hirsch are separated by just 0.4 of a second. And down the Maestro Straight's really where the cars are going to slinky themselves together, getting a big helping of draft. Not like Formula One where they get DRS, but they do get a drafting bonus. If you're within a second of the car in front, you will get some slipstream effect, where the car in front of you is punching a hole through the air, and you will theoretically be going a little bit faster, sitting in that little pocket of air that's being pushed away. Alex Freeman chasing down Patrick Dubois. This is the battle for 9th and 8th overall. Patrick Dubois being kind of a cork in the bottle, that last lap being invalid for him, but a 156 overall. And there goes a bump in the rump. Joshua Worley, it looks like he was able to touch Alex Freeman inappropriately at the final corner. And Eric Akassian trying to do inappropriate things to Spady Butt. Alex Freeman loses a couple positions in that exchange. Neil Kerbel is now trying to shake things up after he was touched by Chronotis. Oh, let's check out Gagassian again. I'm away, Joshua Worley. I'm away. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about what I'm doing here. This long straight allows some of the drivers to type in chat, and I'm not sure I'm here for it, folks. I love this Twitch interactions, but man, some of these drivers are a little bit feisty. Like Neil Kerbel is about to get feisty with Curtis Rustin right now, side by side, going down the Maestro straight and coming in towards turn, I believe this is going to be turn 8 right now. 7? Turn 7. Turn 8, Corba de Signes. They're going to go side by side, but Neil Kerbel backs out of that one. Curtis Rustin used all the track space that was available to him, and Neil Kerbel was unable to get that move to stick there on the outside line. Acting out of self-preservation, he's already had one bump earlier on in the race. He doesn't want to have another one. The Vaultec 395 doing smart things here. Rivera, though, is unfortunately checking out of this battle between himself and Jake Wells. 2.3, 2.6 second gap right now as they cross the Sector 1 timing line. Alex Freeman, now on his recovery drive after getting bumped in the rump, is chasing down Neil Kerbel. A battle for 10th place overall in this championship. Let's check out Jaeger Karu, Devin Anthony, and Eric Kakasi. Devin Anthony taking to the right line. Jaeger Karu not using all the track space that was available to him, but just following in line. That Porsche is going to be quick through the twisty bits, but not so great in a straight line. Midwest FPS, welcome again to the broadcast. Welcome to another wonderful stream hosted by me, Saagar Bakshi, aka The Real High. Thank you very much for being here, brother. I'm glad that you were able to find us on TRACKILICIOUS. Let's look at Alex Freeman as he's still battling it out with Neil Kerbel. Will he be able to get caught up here at the Maestro Straight? I don't think so. He's dipping out of the slipstream a little too early right now. And he's going to be tucked in for turn 8, and I think that's the right move to make. Oh, someone's off in the S's there. That's Curtis Rustin having a big off and unable to produce anything that is saving his life there as he rejoins the track towards turn 9, I think. Yep, that is turn 9, and here we go towards turn 10. Curtis Rustin not having the greatest race right now. Positions lost overall for him, 4. But you know who is having a good race is Kyle Hirsch, the Dive Bomber team. The 021 has gained 4 positions overall so far, driving that McLaren 720S. And that McLaren 720S is powered by a 4.0-liter V8 twin turbo pushing 720 horsepower. We are halfway through the race right now. It's got good air agility, aerodynamics, and great tire management and speed. But it will top out in a straight line here at the Paul Ricard circuit. But it will go faster than Darren Wicks' Porsche in a straight line, that's for sure. And Kyle Hirsch might be putting the moves on a man here over the next lap or so. Professor Chronotis and Joshua Worley going side by side, exchanging positions now. What's up, Sky S30Z? Welcome to the party. Oh, there goes a big look of the number 47 on the inside of the 42 now. They're fully alongside, presenting themselves here. But I think he might have stepped out of the slipstream a little too early. It's a long straight to go down. Joshua Worley, squirrely whirly, doing mad whirly things. And I don't think he's going to have enough track space there on the inside. The Vaultec 395 goes through on Alex Freeman finally. Let's go back to Jaeger Caro, or Joshua Worley and Professor Chronotis. And he is able to get through on Chronotis. That's Joshua Worley making moves right there. Let's go back to Alex Freeman's battle as he chases down Neil Kerbal now. Alex Freeman on that recovery drive like I spoke about earlier. Alex Freeman's down 4 positions overall on his way to recover some of them. Hello, Sky S30Z. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for joining us in the chat. Oh no, Alex Freeman, no! Has an off there at turn 13 and regains his place back on track right behind Joshua Worley. And Joshua Worley gets a drive-through penalty and is off into the pits now. And that'll probably be the end of his race. He will not be able to recover from something like that. Professor Chronotis, Kuzyuterikov, and Alex Freeman all within a second of each other right now. And there goes Kuzyuterikov up the inside of Chronotis, trying to make a move down on the second straight. And coming in towards turn 3, he's already got the move signed, sealed, and delivered. The Ferrari getting past the other Ferrari very easily. No, that's a McLaren, excuse me. Devin Anthony is battling it out with Jaeger Carr right now. And Jaeger Carr is defending very well in that number 92016 position Porsche. And that Porsche is driving a 4.2 liter flat 6 naturally aspirated car, 500 horsepower, with great handling, stability, and tire management, but versatility is really where it shines. Unfortunately, not shining in a top speed here down the Mistral Straight. Darren Wicks did get passed by Kyle Hirsch eventually. The Greenlight Racing car sitting duck there down the Mistral Straight, I'm sure. But now we've got Anthony Kelly from FNM trying to do strange things, going to an inoptimal line down turn 13. Here we go, coming down the front straight. Will it be a move from Anthony Kelly? No, he's a little too far back right now. I'm sure he'll set something up for the Mistral Straight though. Kuzyuterikov trying to get past Alex Freeman now. Again, Freeman on another recovery drive as he's now down into 12th position. Oh, Kuzyuterikov is chopping it up right now. Up the inside line at the second straight is going to be able to get past that other McLaren. He's chopped up one McLaren. You know, he's chopping it up on another one at the Virage de la Hotel. Virage de Coulomb. Let's check out Anthony Kelly from FNM as he chases down Darren Wicks. I told you this was brewing, and here it is finally. I'm not a liar. Darren Wicks getting chopped up by Anthony Kelly like a chop suey salad. And Anthony Kelly downshifting there, backing out, going to the optimum line. And he's able to get past Darren Wicks with relative ease down the Mistral Straight. That Porsche is just a sitting duck, unfortunately, there. Neil Kerbal battling it out with Patrick Dubois, the two Ford Mustang GTRs. GT3s, excuse me. The 5.2 liter V8s, 500 horsepower with their powerful engine. Really strong in a straight line. Neil Kerbal about 5/10 away from Patrick Dubois, about a half second. Ricardo Rivera's pulled away. He's got a 153.5 to his name. Jake Wells with a 154.3. And Phil Cryotheos with a 154.3 himself. K. Moss with a 154.5. Kyle Hirsch with a 155. 155.2 for Anthony Kelly. And Neil Kerbel right now with a 156.3 compared to Patrick DeBoe's 156.4. So gaining by just a couple of tenths here, lap over lap, but catching is one thing, passing is another thing, except down the Maestro Straight where cars just become sitting ducks. And this is where Neil Kerbel's setting it up. He's setting it up for the Maestro Straight as he comes to turn 6, closed down the gap on Patrick DeBoe very well, and now coming out through turn 7 right now during the Maestro corner, and now setting it up for the Maestro Straight. He's within a half a second right now, so he's going to get a big helping of slipstream right now as we come down the Maestro Straight, but it might not be enough to let him catch back up. 3 minutes 20 seconds left on the clock right now. We might not have enough time for him to make this one actually happen, but let's check out the battle for the podium right now. There goes a big look from Cryotheos on the outside line at turn 10. And we can see K Moss lurking in the background right now. Cryotheos has a big drift, so does Jake Wells, having himself his own little drifty there. And it looks like Cryotheos is chasing down Jake Wells. The battle between the two McLarens rages on. Keeps on going, keeps on raging on. The 3 tenths separating these two drivers right now will not shake a stick between them. And K Moss still lurking in the wings. I thought that was going to be a move from Cryotheos into Jake Wells as they come through turn 3. But no, just backed out of it. And Cryo is keeping it tight in between turn 6 and turn 7 right now. And now might get his helping dose of slipstream that will help him out. But Jake Wells is trying to shake it off left, shake it off right. And we see in the rear wing how much that slipstream is really helping. That McLaren, no matter what, is going to top out at a speed of knots eventually. Cryo is trying to look towards the outside line, now looking towards the inside line. Jake Wells has got himself planted in the middle of the track. Cryo is trying to show late on the brakes and a little bit of touching there between the two drivers, and it looks like Cryo was able to make that move happen. Let's go back 10 seconds real quick so we can get a helicam view of this. There goes the move from Cryo on Jake Wells. Jake Wells just had to act out of self-preservation as Cryo was there.
Okay, leaders on the final lap now.
Leaders on the final lap right now, everybody. Or will about to be on the final lap. And here's a three-way battle for the last 2 steps of the podium. Jake Wells leads K Moss, but Cryotheos is the one in second place right now. We've got 2 McLarens and an AMR Vantage all battling it out between the 2 of them. K Moss waiting in the wings of Jake Wells. Oh no, they're about to touch, and then there goes a big checkup from K Moss into Jake Wells. Was not expecting him to go so slowly through there. Cryotheos did get touched in the grand scheme of things. Let's take a 10-second recap and see if we can see this one more time. No.
Alright, man, the leader is on the final lap. Give it a final push.
I thought we were going to get a helping dose of that replay action, but no, not quite enough. Kuzyterakov will provide some entertainment going into the final lap. K Moss promotes himself up into 3rd. Kuzyterakov is in 12th position right now and chasing down Suazo. Anthony Kelly from F&M chasing down Kyle Hirsch. Battle between a Ferrari and a McLaren overall. Oh, big look from the F&M car up to the inside line. He might be a little too far inside, but Kyle Hirsch saw that one coming from a mile away. It may have abused track limits there, but regained on track. It looks like Anthony Kelly's through on Kyle Hirsch. Kyle Hirsch has a couple more corners to wrap this one up, though. Ricardo Rivera is going to bring it home in P1, and he's going to be crossing the line right now in the Puerto Rico E-Racing Club car. Phil Kraothios is going to be in P2, getting to the line. K. Moss in third over Jake Wells in fourth. Anthony Kelly from FNM is chasing down, or being chased down by Kyle Hirsch. Battle for fifth and sixth overall. Darren Wicks is going to come home in seventh place. Patrick DeBow in eighth place, getting chased down by Neil Kerbel, the other Ford Mustang. And the first of the Fords crosses the line. That's Patrick DeBow from Rockefeller Racing. Neil Kerbel, Curtis Russ, and Kuzi Terekoff and Suazo, 11th, 12th. Well, we got more action in the background right now. Jaeger Carr loses position to Professor Kanotis coming through the final corner. Let's get a quick 2020 for that. Jaeger Carr here in the 920, and then there's Kanotis making a big look up the inside line. The number 42 gets a little squirrely going over the curbs with a big send. He definitely licked a stamp and sent it on that one. And that'll be it. Devin Anthony, Joshua Worley, Spady Budd, and Buggy Watt finishing out this race. There we go. Potts Weaver, unfortunately, having a trigger finger. Having to sit out for this race, letting it heal. Good for you. Trigger finger in your thumb. What's a trigger finger in your thumb? Trigger finger is this one. I'm lost. We will be seeing the drivers take part in another qualifying session in just a few moments, I believe. Let's go back to the studio very quickly. We'll take Ricardo Rivera, Phil Kraothios, and K. Moss into the interview room, into the green room after the race. And qualifying 2 is just getting underway, folks. There's a hydrate I did not get redeemed. In the Mike Noss sponsored Crystal Geyser water bottle. Thank you for that earlier hydrate that I did not redeem until now. That was some exciting racing, but we've got another 20-minute race coming at you here, quick, fast, in a hurry at the Tracklicious studio. So if you're thinking about tuning away, don't do it just yet. Wait another 20 or so minutes. And then after that, we're going to be rating someone. I think if you're a fan of good music, you'll like who I'm going to raid. Let's get to looking at the drivers as they do their qualifying session. Anthony Kelly leading the charge. Actually, the 787 of Ricardo Rivera is leading the charge. The number 5, 81, the 7, the 47, the 627, the 823, the 52, the 87, the 395, the 868. car stuck in between them and the 42 of Chronotis. Drivers are all trying to find their groove, trying to find their positions out on track. The 221, I should say, with Mad Fox Sim Racing team of Spady Bud leading the 213 of Suazo right now. And Suazo weaving left, weaving right, generating some heat into those tires down the Mistral straight. Make sure that sexy sax is turned off. It is. It is. Kyle Hirsch, Darren Wicks, Devin Anthony, and Buggy Watt all having yellow flags. What is going on? Drivers queuing up like a Formula One race, it looks like. Other than that, things are pretty chill around this 3.5 mile circuit. 5.7 kilometers, founded in 1970, currently out from 2018, located in Cassolet, France. 15 corners, 6 to the left, 9 to the right. 100 feet of elevation change. 100 feet of elevation change? I bonked my mic. Where? Where's the 100 feet of elevation change? Can someone tell me where the elevation change is here on this track? I have no idea, but I can't see it. And I'm looking with both of my eyeballs right now. I've never seen a flatter track in my life, and I've seen flat track racing. I think flat track racing probably has more elevation change than Paul Ricard. Did you know that there's 100 feet of elevation change here at Paul Ricard? I don't know where it is. Apparently it exists. It's probably down the Mistral straight. There's probably like a gradual, like 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch per foot. And down the entire Mistral straight, it's probably that. It's probably 100 feet. Where is the lowest elevation change in the world? The world's largest salt flat is Salar de Uyuni in Bolivia. Almost the size of Connecticut. It is the flattest place on Earth other than Paul Ricard. It says it right here on Google. I'm not making this up. I am making some of that up. But mostly very true. I can't get over that fact. I don't know, whoever did this track guide is probably a dirty liar. There's no way. Cryotheos drifting in the background as he's generating heat in his tires right now. 4 minutes left in this qualifying session. Ricardo Rivera done a 53.7, K-Moss with a 54.7, Cryotheos with a 54.9. Ricardo Rivera having a yellow flag moment, warps back to the pits, and he's hopefully going to rotate his tires off the stands and get back out there. I've never seen a better parking lot in my life, Dr. Porkchop. Could you imagine like just walking around Paul Ricard and just like trying to find a good place to watch the racing and then realizing that the only spaces to go watch the race is from a grandstand because there's only 100 feet of elevation change at this track? There's not like a hill you get to go sit on. There's no shade. It's just flat. Could you imagine? Anybody who's been to Paul Ricard, get in the chat right now and tell me how wrong I am. All one of you. But the people that have been to Paul Ricard that agree with me, come out in troves. Because, yeah, I could only imagine. Where are you going to sit to watch the action where there's not going to be someone in front of you? What if there's like a 6-foot tall guy that's taller than the elevation change in front of you? You're not going to see any of the racing here. I'm not going to get over this elevation change issue anytime soon, folks. I'm not stopping. I told you that there's going to be expletives in chat. Oh, that's a drive-through, or not a drive-through, but that's a lap invalidation for K Moss as he came through on the track limits violations there. Jake Wells into P2, the 154.230. Beats K Moss's 54.4. Anthony Kelly from FNM with a 54.697. Cryo with a 54.9, down into 5th place right now. Darren Wicks with a 155.27. Eric Akasian promotes himself up into 7th place with a 155.227. Curtis Rustin with a 55.712. Squirrely Whirly with a 55.817 seems to be getting in touch with this track. A little bit of cracking action there on his car. A little bit of cracking action for him as well. 787 is rolling out on track, and Joshua Worley, just as soon as I said he's got some cracking action, decides to yeet it into a wall to prove me wrong. I'm no longer going to pay attention to Joshua Worley. I'm going to pretend like he doesn't even race here anymore. Because I feel like every time I pull him up, he starts looking at the monitor. Oh, Squatchmonger can't wait to be out of this track. It'll be over in 20 minutes time. I hope you're enjoying all 100 feet of elevation change here at the Paul Ricard circuit, over 3.5 miles. Too far away. You're not doing bad. You're sitting in the top 10, Joshua Worley. Top 10's a good place to be in. .22 seconds left in this as Jake Wells and K Moss both whip it around at turn 10. And we're back to the pits for the both of them. Cryo keeps it on track. Not out here to improve, I don't think. Eric Akasian, though, is. He's got 9/10 in his pocket. Gets to the line. Eric Akasian goes into the top 5. Number 5 settles himself into 5th place overall with a 154.432. Someone's got to bump Anthony Kelly back. He's the 6th place car, but riding in the number 7 right now. So someone has to dethrone him. And I think that'll be it for the qualifying session right now, folks. I think things have settled in. Only people out there to improve right now are Boogie Watt and Alex Freeman. I believe you can, Squatchmonger. I believe you can. I would, if you submit the ticket directly to me, I will give Neil Kerbal the commentator's curse. I will take this as your official requisition for Neil Kerbal's commentator curse. Would you like to redeem your commentator's curse now or later, Squatchmonger? Let's start the sexy sacks now. Ricardo Rivera leads in P1 with a 53.677 in the 787. And then Cryotheos is going to be in P2, about half second back with 0.523 back in the number 81. Jake Wells is 0.553 back for the 527. K Moss is 0.7 off the pace, and the number 823 is in 4th place. Eric Gakassian representing the Armenian flag in the 0.755 off the pace, and the number 5 in 5th place. Anthony Kelly from FNM, the number 7, is in 6th place, 1.0 off the pace. Darren Wicks, the number 46, is in 7th place, and he is 1.3 off the pace. Kuzi Terekov, 1.37 off the pace, is in the 627, as he's in 8th place. Patrick Boudreau sitting in the top 10 right now. He's in 9th overall in the number 87. Kyle Hirsch, also in the top 10, 1.9 off the pace in the number 21. Curtis Rustin, 1.9 off the pace as well in the 868 in 11th place. Alex Freeman, the number 14, he's sitting in 12th place, and he's 1.53 off the pace. Joshua Worley, Squirrely Whirly, the number 47, is in 13th place overall. We're not going to pay attention to him. Philip Suazo, the 213, is going to be in 14th place overall. Neil Kerbel, the 395, he's going to get the commentator's curse, is in 15th place in 2.5 off the pace. Devin Anthony, the 664, is in 16th place overall. Professor Chronotis, the Chrono Dome, he's going to be in the number 42 in 17th place. Spady Bud in the number 221 is in 18th place overall. Buggy Watt, the 410, he's going to be in 19th place overall. And Jaeger Karu is in the 920 in 20th position overall. Commentator Skurs coming in for Neil Kerbel. Neil Kerbel getting the commentator's curse. Let's take a look at the Vault-Tec livery for the last time, because he's going to get punted in T1. Guaranteed right now. This is the last time we'll see the 395. Shadow Nemesis, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I feel like I've just been kind of silly today. Green, away we go. Cryotheos not in the lead right now, but Ricardo Rivera sure is. And Cryotheos actually does snap away the lead as ahead of Ricardo Rivera at T1, but will he be able to hold on to it? Ricardo Rivera inside line turns to the outside line for turn 2. He can't make it through, but so does Jake Wells. He does make it through. K Moss is in 4th place, Eric Kossin's in 5th, Kuzi Terekov, Darren Wicks, Patrick Dubois, Kyle Hirsch, Alex Freeman. There's your top 10 right now. Thank you, Midwest FPS. You know I like to leave it on just for the jams. Rogues won, and thank you very much for the follow. Appreciate the love and support that you're bringing towards the channel. We are just 193 people away from following for me to not do a naked hot tub stream. So if you want to not see me in a hot tub, make sure that you hit the follow button right away, because our deadline is fast approaching. And just like our deadline is fast approaching, so is Ricardo Rivera, as he's about to snap by Cryotheos on the outside line, but Cryo's on the inside line, holding Ricardo Rivera. To be honest, Ricardo Rivera goes a little bit wide, so does Jake Wells going a little bit wide there. Oh, they almost touched there at turn 9. And Cryo is able to go through, holding on to that position for just one lap at least. K Moss with a drive-through penalty already. How, what, and why? Amazing. I'm not even mad. I'm just surprised. That's talented. Get a drive-through on lap 1. He must have been out of position on the start. That's the only thing I could think of. Cryo leads to Jake Wells and Ricardo Rivera right now. Let's look at on board of Jake Wells right now. I want to see what he's seeing. Even K Moss's point of view. A Mossive Motorsports car. Eric Ricard still in 5th place overall. Darren Wicks and Patrick Bowe making a little bit of love in contact there. Kyle Hirsch is able to go through as, wow, a little bit of door banging and a little bit of hip check in there. The 87 goes off track of DeBow after not letting Kyle Hirsch rejoin the track in a neat and tidy fashion. Got to leave one car's width on the outside of the track for Justin Casey's. And all the time you have to leave the space, as Fernando Alonso once said. Kenny Moss leads Eric Ricard right now, but chasing down Jake Wells of Jake Wells Racing. Oh, here comes a big look around the outside, coming down the Maestro straight. And he tucks back into the slipstream, not quite there, able to produce anything. Let's check out Ricardo Rivera as he's trying to get by Cryo one more time. Give me that helicam shot. Ricardo Rivera on the outside line, tried to turn in, but Cryo was existing there. And Cryo takes the optimum line, doesn't abuse any of the track limits violations there. Just holds Ricardo Rivera to an honest line himself. Massive from K. Moss. He tucks in behind Jake Wells in 4th place overall. Philip Suazo having a yellow flag moment there at turn 9 himself. And Kronotis is able to go through, and Kyle Hirsch loses one to Patrick DeBlow. It looks like the 87 was able to get past the 21 pretty well. Ricardo Rivera was able to get by Cryo. Let's take a quick 20-second recap of this one, see how it all shook down. Up the inside line, what a send there from Ricardo Rivera just at the turn-in point there of turn 11. And able to make that one stick very well. Ricardo Rivera holds on to the lead, half a second ahead of Cryotheos right now. K. Moss serving that drive-through penalty right away. He tumbles down in towards 11th place overall. Oh, Shadow Nemesis, if you're interested in joining, !SimGrid. Oh, it looks like it's not working. Usually, !SimGrid works. There it is. There, it's working. To join in on any of the action that we have here at Trackalicious, where you can see all of the events that we have lined up for us, and new events coming out within the next couple weeks for the end of the year. We have our Spooky Suzuki event coming up on October 30th, as well as our Sun Sprint Zandvoort and Flooded Silverstone race. Phil Cryotheos managing to stay within touching distance of Ricardo Rivera right now. 4/10 adrift from Ricardo Rivera. A 54.992 being that last lap around. 55.8 for Cryo and a 55.5 for Jake Wells. So he's managing to keep in touch with his battling out in front as well. Thank you very much for checking it out, Shadow Nemesis, and of course, Discord. If you want to just join the Discord, hang out, lurk for a while before you dip your toes into the water, or dip your toes out on track on this hot 36-degree track temperature, 29-degree ambient temperature. I wouldn't suggest dipping your toes onto track, but you know, some people like that kind of thing. There goes a big look from Jake Wells Racing, the Simrise car on Cryo. There's another look here going in towards turn 3, and then he backs out of it. Virage de la Hotel. Virage du Camp being the next one, turn 5. And Virage de la Sante Boheme. I don't know how to pronounce these track corner names, but I am trying so hard. Hopefully I get a little bit of credit for that. Kuzi Terekov chasing down Eric Kakasian, 4/10 back from that GTR. GTR is pushing 3.8 liter V6 twin turbo, 550 horsepower. Well, that Ferrari is pushing around a 2.6 liter, if I'm not mistaken. V8 twin turbo, 550 horsepower there as well. Eric Akasian trying to rejoin the track comes on abruptly, scares the 627 of Kuzi Terekov out of making a move as Eric Akasian has a big drift, trying to go for a switchback here at turn 9, doing a good job of trying to present himself along the inside line. Can't really get a overtake defense going there, but Kuzi Terekov does take advantage of that and promotes himself into the top 5. Eric Akasian nestled into the top 5, just sitting in 5th place where he started. Kuzi Terekov getting positions left, right, and center. He's up 4 positions overall. Spady Bud's another big gainer. Professor Chronotis another big gainer. 8 positions, 7 positions gained respectively for those 2 drivers. Eric Akasian chasing down Terekov here, going in towards turn 1. S de la Verrière. Verrière. I know I'm pronouncing it like a Spaniard would, pronouncing French tracks, but I apologize. That's all I know. Someone redeem me a hydrate, por favor. Mike Noss's sponsored water jug. Here comes Jake Wells down the inside line, going to the outside line of Cryotheos now. Battle for 2nd and 3rd rages on. Jake Wells presenting himself on the outside line of Cryo right now. Going for a move. Thank you, Rally Dutchie, for the hydrate. There he goes, way out to the outside line, comes back in, Cryo holding him honest. Jake Wells goes super deep and wide, rejoins the racing track right next to Cryo on the outside of turn 9, goes super deep again during that 100 meters of elevation change. The deep elevation change there just sucked him out of it. It was so deep. Jake Wells couldn't keep in touch with that elevation change. That was too crazy there at that one corner. This is Suazo getting chased down by Professor Chronotis. The Fanatec McLaren getting chased down by another McLaren and stuck behind another McLaren. The 21 chasing down, getting chased down by the 213 and the number 42. Jake Wells getting close to Cryo again. Separated by under half a second still. Checking up left, checking up right. Jake Wells trying to find a move past Cryo now. But Ricardo Rivero checking out of this battle, 5.2 seconds ahead of Cryotheos. Last laps around, 55.9 for Cryo, 55.8 for Jake Wells. And Mr. Wells has got to be careful with his track limits violations. We don't want to see the drive-through master getting another drive-through. Here comes another look. It follows in single file line, deep on the brakes here at turn 8. And he will go a little wide, but not too wide, I believe. But he is 6/10 slower than his previous best lap. Awkward corner here, late on the gasoline pedal. Another awkward corner up the inside line. Cryo goes a bit deep. He takes to the good line on the exit. Jake Wells doing a little bit better so, of using all the track that he can. And then here's another awkward corner, turn 12. You feed this corner, drifting out a little bit towards the middle, and then now the hairpin chicane, the hairpin, coming in through turn 13. Virage de Pont. And coming down the straight, Jake Wells leads Cryo by 0.3 of a second. Again, 8 minutes left on the clock. We've only got about another 4 attempts at this. I think we saw 10 laps, 11 laps potentially, in the first race, and we'll probably see that happening again. Jake Wells closing down the gap on Cryotheos, the ORL car. He's tucked in very well this time through turn 6 and turn 7. And should be able to get it fully alongside Cryotheos now. Going way off to the inside line now, Jake Wells. Doing Jake Wells things, going out onto the blue stuff on the inside line. This is going to be a drag towards turn 8, and it looks like Cryo holds onto an more optimum line as Jake Wells tucks in behind. But all of this battling has allowed Kuzu Terekov to catch back up, as he's doing 54.6s right now compared to the 54.8s and 54.9s of the cars in front. They have better pace beneath them. They've been able to produce 54.1s, 54.4s, respectively, Jake Wells and Cryotheos. But Kuzu Terekov's best lap being a 54.662 his last lap around, has been able to catch up to these guys. Alex Freeman now faced with the drive-through penalty in the last of the McLarens, and here's a switchback trying to go right for Jake Wells. Can't get one produced, and now the Ferrari's stuck in the mix. The 627 to Kuzu Terekov taking a look. Jake Wells taking a look left, taking a look right, switching things up on Cryo. And there's going to be a little bit of hip checking, bumping and grinding there from Jake Wells into Cryo, as just not a lot of overlap was there to present itself. Flashy of the headlights out of Jake Wells, signaling he's not too happy with that move, but I don't believe he had the overlap there substantially alongside. I believe the rules are front wheel to wing mirror to side mirror. So I don't think he was really guaranteed to any track space there, but as we say all the time, you have to leave the space, and there goes a move from Terekov now as Jake Wells has a big drift through turn 6. And down the Maestro straight, Jake Wells is going to be a sitting duck. Quack, quack. Here comes Kuzu Terekov in the NCR car. Quack for me, Jake Wells, quack for me. The 527 sitting duck. Kuzu Terekov in the 627. On the optimum line, can he get turned in enough? I don't think so. Jake Wells holds on to a really good line somehow, some way, and the Ferrari seemingly backs out of that one. Kuzu Terekov just slips right in behind Jake Wells for the 7th lap of this race. Eric Akasian 3.1 seconds away from the battling cars in front, nestled into 5th place overall though. Not a lot of battling anywhere else on track other than this pack for the 2nd and 3rd place of this race. Kuzu Terekov closing in at turn 13, Virage de Pont. And things are looking clean right now for Jake Wells and Phil Cryotheos. No paint scrubbing this time between the two drivers. It doesn't look like Jake Wells has any damage after that contact that they made earlier. But like I said, he obviously felt like he demanded some track space, or deserved some track space there that he was not able to get. A 17-second gap from Ricard Rivera to Cryotheos right now. Or 10.5 second, excuse me. Here comes Jake Wells one more time down the Maestro straight, the 527, chasing down the number 81 to the outside line, really going out there to use all the track space possible. Turning in, does not have the shortest radius possible. He might get track limits violation. No, he does not. Tucks back in behind Cryotheos just in the nick of time, and there goes Kuzu Terekov making a look on the inside. Doesn't act on it though. Saw his opportunity there for just a fleeting moment. I didn't want to go for it. Kuzi Terekov there. There goes Jake Wells up the inside of Cryo. He has a big drift, and Kuzi Terekov's able to go around the outside. But can he hold on? No. The 527 manages to hold on to position, but just narrowly doing so. Epic battling here for the podium spots. Darren Wicks chasing down Patrick Dubois. Two cars in very completely different machinery. Darren Wicks is going to be fast through the twisty bits and not so great down the straights. Terekov looking up the inside line, going in towards turn 3. Does he have the move secured? I think so. He eats it over the curb. Eats one, eats two. He has a little bit of a drift there. Jake Wells returning to the optimum line as the Ferrari takes another bump there. Gets a little unsettled in that 627 in front of the 527 of Jake Wells out of the Simmerized car. Professor Kenotis having a brief yellow flag moment going off track in the number 42 in 12th position. But nothing to write home about. He's doing okay. Here comes Jake Wells trying to snap back on Kuzi Terekov. Up on the inside line. Does he have it there fully alongside? He does. Jake Wells returns the favor and goes through on Terekov, pushing him a little wide. And Terekov up the inside line has a look, but didn't really act on it yet. The 627 getting passed by the 527 one more time. Jake Wells performing like a cool cucumber, but then he just has a major drift to prove me wrong. Thank you very much, Jake Wells, for proving me wrong there for just a brief moment. As he drifts that McLaren through turn 9. And he's able to get the car collected for turns 10 and turn 11, though.
All right, man. The leader is on the final lap.
Whoa, leader's on the final lap already. Wowza. That happened way faster than I'd like to admit. "17 drivers in this championship race, still taking to the checkered flag right now. We've got Ricardo Rivera leading Cryo, leading Jake Wells, and Kuzi Terekov is in 4th. Eric Akasian is in 5th. Patrick Dubois, Darren Wicks, Kyle Hirsch, Philip Suazo, Spady Budd. There's your top 10. Spady Budd in the top 10. Holy Toledo. Great drive out of Spady Budd, driving a quiet, silent, deadly race. He started in 18th position. He's up 8 positions overall. Ricard, another big gainer, 7 positions gained for him. Those are 2 big gainers. K. Moss down 12, Anthony Kelly down 11, Alex Freeman down 3 so far. Ricardo Rivera starting where he finished, Phil Carothios as well, Jake Wells as well. Kuzi Terekov's up 4 positions, Kakasian's where he started. Patrick Dubois up 3, is nestled in 6th place right now. And there goes Terekov blazing past Jake Wells on the final lap. And there goes Jake Wells tucking in behind Kuzi Terekov. Yeah, that might be done and dusted now. Kuzi Terekov gaining 5 positions overall. And Jake Wells down 1 now, just as I finished that position standing gained. Kuzi Terekov has to take to optimum lines right now because Eric Akasian is a half second to drift. Eric Akasian chasing down a guy like Jake Wells, doing a great job right now, just driving clean and tidy. Ricardo Rivera has taken the finish of this race. The checkered flag for him, P1787. Coming to the final corner right now, Virage Dupont. Kuzi Terekov takes home P3. Cryo takes home P2. Kuzi Terekov in 3rd. Jake Wells is going to be in 4th. Eric Akasian is in 5th. Patrick Dubois is going to be in 6th. Darren Wicks is in 7th. Philip Suazo is in 8th. Spady Budd's in 9th. Devin Anthony in 10th. Kyle Hirsch is in 11th. Professor Kenotis in 12th. Jaeger Caro is in 13th. Buggy Watt in 14th. Alex Freeman in 15th. K. Moss in 16th. And Anthony Kelly is in 17th. What happened to the 395? Accident between the 395 and the number 87. Take a quick look and see what happened here. that car's seen some better days already, I can tell. Oh no! Oh no. That's what happened to the 87 and the 395. Okay. Spady Bud, congratulations on your top 10. Getting there just as the checkered flag got dropped. Good job. 9 positions gained overall for you. Kyle Hirsch still trying to limp this one home. Oh, he warps out of the race. Let's take Ricardo Rivera, Cryothios, and Kuzi Terekov into the green room, please. Head on over to the studio. And I'll also be taking K Moss and Kuzi Terekov. But first, we'll talk to Phil Cryothios. What's going on there, Phil Cryothios?
G'day, g'day.
How are you doing? Congratulations on your back-to-back P2 races.
Thank you. I had to work pretty hard for it.
Yeah, I could tell, especially for race 2. You had to work the wheel a little extra hard as Jake Wells was giving you a run for your money, right?
Yeah, I mean, I had a pretty good start off the line. Got into P1, was able to hold Rivera back for a little bit, but that guy's just too rapid. And then, yeah, I guess spending all that time defending brought me into Jake's wrath. So I had to hold him off for a while too.
Yeah, well, you did a good job defending him off, and great job battling out with Ricardo Rivera for what, the first 3 laps you were able to fend him off. Talk us a little bit through some of that action.
Yeah, just standard defending techniques, right? Making him go the long way round, forcing him to take the line that he doesn't want. But yeah, he's just too quick.
Yeah, and then he made a nice lunge at you at turn 10, if I remember correctly, and
yeah,
just really slicked the stamp and sent it on you.
Yeah. To be fair, I left the door wide open for him, so fair play.
Yeah, no, fair play and fair driving. Rough but fair is all I could see. And you guys managed to make it very clean looking as well. Were you happy about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's always great to show each driver respect and stuff, and vice versa. So yeah.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Is there anything in your race we may have missed or anything else you want us to catch us up on before we let you go and we start talking to Ricardo Rivera?
No, just wanted to say thanks to the TRACKILICIOUS staff for organizing the event.
Right on. Thank you very much to all the admins and track staff that are here at TRACKILICIOUS to make these events possible. Thank you very much for bringing that up, Cryothios. Have a wonderful night and please stay safe.
Take it easy.
You too. Let's grab our back-to-back race winners, Ricardo Rivera. How are you doing, Ricardo?
Hey, everything very good, and you?
Living the dream. Congratulations on back-to-back race victories. The race 1 was kind of silent but deadly. You walked away with fastest laps of 53.5, about 8/10 faster than your compatriot behind of Cryothios. But race 2 was a little bit different, wasn't it?
Yeah, especially the Ferrari is very slow at the starts, and we fear a little bit of a long stretch into turn 1. He got me both races in turn 1. We had contact in race 1, so I played a little bit safer in race 2, and yeah, he got me like pretty good into those first corners.
Yeah, he got you very early in the first couple of corners, but then after that, it was pretty nip and tuck. You had to do a hard job of catching back up to the race leader, who was Cryothios. Now talk us through that overtake. How did you set that up, or where were you trying to really make one happen?
I was a little bit in a hurry to break the toe from Jake, who was behind on P3, so I wanted to do the overtake as soon as possible. And I think the safest place was on the straight. I have a little bit more of top speed with the toe. Finally, the Ferrari is fast the straight in one track at least. So I was gonna take my chance there in lap 1, but he took the inside line, and I didn't want to risk it. And for lap 2, he did the same thing, so I then gave him a little bit of room and wait to pass him on sector 3.
Yeah, sector 3, turn 10, right?
Yeah, looking at the quali times, we had like similar sector 1s and 2, but I was like 4 times faster than everyone else on sector 3, so I knew that there was the other place that I can make maybe an overtake.
Oh, nice. You thought about it pretty well, and it definitely paid off. You worked that wheel like a magician, pulling off a great overtake there at turn 10. I thought it was a lick a stamp and send it moment, but it looked very clean during the replay. It was very nice move, well executed, and as Cryo said, he kind of left the door open for that overtaking move. Did you expect that to kind of come your way, or not quite?
Well, that's maybe a little bit, because that's basically the line in that corner is pretty weird. It's like a kind of a late apex, so I knew that I want to run into the inside. So that was my plan. I overshoot it a little bit, and I thought for a moment that I wasn't going to be able to brake, to be fair, but it ended up playing perfectly.
Yeah, executed to perfection. Great job of driving out there today, back-to-back victories. And I think mathematically you've sealed this championship in the bag. Are you drinking some extra champagne tonight for that?
Yeah, I hope so. Probably this weekend.
Yeah, enjoy it this weekend after some more racing. Are you going to be racing with us throughout the rest of the season despite the points lead?
Oh, yeah, of course. There's, 1 or 2 races remaining?
2 more, 2 more races. Yeah. Well, glad to hear it, Ricardo Rivera. Thank you very much for joining me in the booth. Is there anybody that you want to thank, or any part of your race that we may have missed that you want to talk about before I let you go?
I think you covered basically everything, and always thanks to you guys for the amazing job every race.
Thank you very much, Ricardo Rivera. Appreciate the love and the accolades. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and follow if you thank you so much, okay?
Of course.
Have a great night and be safe, brother.
Thanks, you do.
That was Ricardo Rivera, our race winner. If Jake Wells wants to get in here real quickly, I'll do an interview with Jake Wells as well. You got a couple seconds to get in here and into the green room if you want to chat it up. I do want to hear his feelings about race 2, as that one was pretty spicy, and even race 1, as he almost had it in the bag to get a podium position, but not quite. Oh, we've got Jake Wells. Let's grab him real quick. Jake Wells, I knew you were listening. How's it going, buddy?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm living the dream. Thank you very much. Man, that was a hard-fought battle for a P4 at the end of the day in race 1, and even harder fought battle for P4 with Kuzya Terakov in race 2. Talk us about your races. Let's go with race 1 first.
No, I just messed up at one point and let Cryo get close, and then once he got by me, something pretty sketchy happened in turn 1, but I digress on that one. But yeah, unfortunately, once that happened, I mean, it caught me out, and then it also caught the Aston behind me out, and we were just kind of...
right. I forgot about that. That's right. That
SOL,
was super sketchy. Yeah, no, there was nothing you could do about that after that point.
Yeah, he overbraked into T2. I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but he did it again in the second race. But I mean, I digress. It just happens. You don't know what they're going through in their car. It's pretty crazy. Yeah. You never know what's going on. It was a good fought race of both of them. First race, I just kind of left the door open, and he got me on the straight. And then second race, I tried 15 different times, but we couldn't get through it. It is what it is at that point.
Oh, is that why you flashed the headlights in a race 2? I was wondering, because I thought you guys had not made contact there at turn 1 going in towards turn 2, but that must have just been a flashback or PTSD moment from race 1 that you had seen, where he overbraked again, maybe.
Well, I'm just gonna bite my tongue.
Well,
that's
fair
probably
enough.
The best way to go.
It was a good, hard-fought battle between you and Kuzya Terakov. I wasn't sure if you were going to get him back there, well, because you had got him back at the second to last lap, right? And then
I let him by.
Okay, you let him by on the second to last lap, and then what happened on the last lap? I thought you were going to get him back.
No, I wasn't trying to get him back. I'm out of the championship, so I was like, hey, you know what? Why take away some points from a guy that has been roughly with us this whole time? So I let him go, and he was very fair driving with me, and said, you know what? Let's just let him have it back and take care. And
I'm gonna shake my finger at you because I think Kuzu's probably been here just as many laps as you had. Probably he's 40th in the championship right now. I'm gonna shake a big nasty finger at you, Jake Wells. I signed up to see a race. I signed up to see a race. You're 10th in the championship right now. A couple of points. I don't know. You could at least be Eric the Boss Gakassian.
Well, I don't know if I'm even going to make the next 2 races. We just don't know. So it's just one of those things where, you know what, he was there, and I was just going out on a high than a low. So
no, go with that. It was a good battle, and it was a great race to see you guys switch it back. And like you said about Cryo, tried 15 different ways to get around it, and I felt the same way about your battle with Kuzu Terakov as well. 15 different ways to try to make that same overtake happen, 15 different tries to defend as well. But in the end, just a whole lot of slipstream is what helped him out, get you at turn 9. And there's really not much else you can say about that one, right?
No, yeah, just one of those things where I tried everything in my power. He was just able to stick it better than I could. And yeah, great job to him.
Yeah, great driving, Jake Wells. Is there anything in your race that we may have missed or not covered that you want to talk about, or anybody that you want to thank before we let you go?
No, it was fun. Paul Ricard is one of those tracks people hate, but it literally provides like the best racing.
It really does. As much as I joked about the elevation change here at Paul Ricard, did you know that it's 100 feet of elevation change at Paul Ricard? I don't know where it is, but there's 100 feet somewhere in this 3.5 miles. As much as I talk smack about it, it is a great racetrack, and Sector 3 is one of those ones that's super technical, and as Ricardo Rivera showcased before or talked about before, there's so many different lines that you can take through there that make it defensive, that make it aggressive, that produce some great racing, like you just said, Jake. So thank you very much for pointing that out.
Yeah, no worries. And thank you, Saagar.
Yeah, no worries, brother. Have a great night and be safe, man.
See ya.
And that was Jake Wells from Jake Wells Racing. Thank you very much, everybody, for the interviews. Thank you very much for joining us in the broadcast booth. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here in chat, in Patrick DeBow. Thank you very much for the hydrate. Great racing, everybody. It was Kuzia, luckily able to join for the last 2 races of this season. Very good. Glad to see you back, brother. Hopefully we see you out here again for sure. But no, great to see everybody again. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. Thank you for participating. The racing would not be the same without all of you guys being here, obviously. Love to see you guys all filling up this grid. Love to see everybody in chat. You guys are a phenomenal group of people. The Tracklicious team is exactly where I want to be at my stage and being a commentator. So thank you very much again for the opportunities, from all the admins to all the staff members that have given me this shot here at Tracklicious. Hopefully I'm doing you guys all justice with all the hard work I'm putting in. And with that, everybody, have a wonderful night, and remember to please stay safe. And we are going to be doing a raid, so please stick around for that raid here in just a few moments. Great to see you, Midwest FPS. I'll see you next time. Thanks, guys.